Hey everyone, I'm here with Cristal Bubblin. If I were to sit here and tell you
Hey
every
y'all.
single thing that she has done, I would be going on for like 2 minutes.
Oh
To sum it
wow.
all, she has like experience in sales, production, promotions. She's a production coordinator. She's had 15 years of experience in radio and television. And honestly, I'm just gonna let her talk. How are you feeling?
I'm doing okay. It's Friday, so it's the weekend.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm all right. I'm here. Got a little cold, but I'm trying to ignore it more than I'm trying to fight it. I'm just trying to act like it's not here. It's
Um,
not it's not working.
it's okay. I know it's gonna be speedy, especially with you being in Cali.
hmm
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Mm-mm.
So I seen that you went to a HBCU.
Yes, I did. North
And
Carolina. Look, my little pin from GHO right there. North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro.
I know somebody that went there and she's having the time of her life.
I mean, we are the number one HBCU in the country.
Really?
FAMU tries it, but it's A&T. Yeah,
It's
it's
between
us.
A&T, Howard, and
No,
FAMU.
Howard's like number 10.
What?
It's usually, yeah, at the tie is usually like, according to US, I think it's US News and World Report. It's
Hmm.
like A&T and FAMU always go back. We're like the New York and LA of HBCUs. They always go back and forth. Howard is like number 10. Listen, Howard, the thing about Howard is Howard just lets anybody use they logo. That's what that is. And it's in DC. So for a lot of people, especially when it comes to HBCUs, a lot of people are scared of HBCUs because they're in the South. So they feel like it's gonna be like Klan country and da 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 da. And Howard is in DC, so they feel like that's like South enough,
Furthest you're gonna go.
but
Yes.
northern enough. But like DC be having crazy crime rates. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Um, but like yeah, Howard, and then like A&T specifically, like we don't license our logo, our name, our brand, or anything. So the only way to get like A&T merch
Hmm.
is to go to the campus and purchase it, or like around homecoming, there's a couple of Walmarts in the area that they license to sell A&T products too. Whereas like Howard, they just be like, you know, you got however much money. Oh, you can make some Howard sweatshirts. You can make some Howard socks. You can make some. We don't care. Give us the money. Yeah. How listen, y'all, and I ain't scared to say it. Howard's the hype. Howard's the hype, y'all.
I've heard that.
It is.
See, I've
It is.
heard. So then how do you think NCAT shaped you as a person, as a woman of color, as a person in the industry?
The beautiful thing about going to a HBCU, whichever one you choose to go to, including Howard, is that when you go to those schools, I feel you are able to get an education based on who you are, not what you are. Like I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood my whole, like, up until I was 18. So there were incidents, there was always that, like, certain things would happen and you're like, is it happening because I didn't earn it or because I'm black, right? And so going to HBCU takes that away. Now you just have to perform, you know what I mean? Now it's like, if if you are if you have a positive, wonderful personality, that's just because it's who you are. If you have a negative, mean, evil, hateful personality, that's just because it's who you are. It's not, there's not the question of, is like, is this happening because I'm black? Because everybody there is black. And
Mhm.
what it allows you to do is to be your genuine, authentic self, regardless of your race.
I've never I've never heard anyone say that. I think the most I've heard with like HBCUs, people just say like because it is harder for us as people of color to like land positions at times, it's like it's more rigorous for us. Like the coursework is more rigorous. I guess the standards are much higher. So coming out of it, it's just like you're really built up. I'm not sure. That's just what someone said to me. Do you agree?
I mean, it could be, and that totally could be their experience. I didn't. I mean, I graduated literally 2 decades ago now. So I remember there being some subjects that were very rigorous for me, but I don't know. And I've always been the kind of person that if I enjoy what I'm doing, like I don't find it challenging, if that's the word. Like it's hard work. Like I know it's still hard work, but I don't necessarily feel a challenge. Like physics class, forget it. That was torture. That was like crawling on my belly through hot sand. But like my communication classes, and there were like hard times and challenges in theirs, but it was like I loved this so much. So those challenges to me never felt like rigorous, you know what I mean? And I had an instructor, Dr. Wellborn, love him to death, like he would like stay on us, you know? And he would tell us like if we didn't do an assignment or if we were slacking, he would be like, all right, he would call us 10 on 2. And he'd be like, 10 on 2? What's that mean? He said, that means you're going to spend all this money to get that degree to be pumping gas. Talking about 10 on 2, 10 on pump 2.
Wow.
So, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I feel like that, like, what that person told you, that's a valid perspective too. I just felt like for me, honestly, I was like, I'm sick of white people's stuff. So I want to go where I want to be, where the people are. You know, I want to be, I want to live with us, because I had never, and like my mom had grown up in Brooklyn in a Black neighborhood. Yeah, BK all day, and I never had that experience. So I was like, I want to know what that's like, you know. I know what this is like, but I want to know what being around us is like. And you also get to see so many different, like we're always saying, you know, Black people are not a monolith. You also get to see that in real time. You get to see the Hillary Banks and the Khadijah James. I'm just using like TV people. You get to see people from, you know, everything, middle class, upper class, and wealthy, you know, people who just like got it out of the mud and are there on scholarships, and the first person in their family to ever go to college, and the people that like going to college going to this particular school is their legacy, like their grandparents with their great, you know what I mean? So you get to see all, or I'll say a lot of the facets of the diaspora, because I'm sure there's more that I haven't seen. But yeah, so that's wonderful. And that I think that prepares you for the world, because there's so much in the world that can be anti-Black, and at times we are Black people ourselves, we can be anti-Black, and a lot of that is because we aren't exposed to other facets of Blackness. Some of us, we know our little corner of the world. Like I remember being a kid when the Cosby Show was on, and people were like, oh, it's not realistic, like a Black doctor and a Black lawyer got married. But like, my father was a pilot, and he was like one of the founders of it's called the Organization of Black Aeronautical Professionals, but it was the Organization of Black Airline Pilots. But he was like one of the founders, and this has been like 50, almost 60 years ago, you know what I mean? And then like my mom worked for a pharmaceutical company. And then when I was 8, my mom opened a hair salon. So then we would have Black women who were lawyers, doctors. One of her clients who became like my aunt was the campaign manager for the governor of New Jersey. So, you know, you're able to see, you know, that like we're not all just like
there's not a single story. I was just
Right, there's not a
talking
single
about
story.
this,
Yeah.
literally about like Issa Rae. You know that Issa Rae is like right there for me. Like how she makes stories. Someone had come up with this like comment about her saying like, you know, her sex scenes are too vulgar or like it's just too much. And she was saying like, we're so used to seeing white people, Western people have sex in shows. It's just like, okay, whatever. The minute I show it, it's too much, like it's too intimate, but it's just a facet of what is a part of our life. Like, and I'm going to show that. That's part of Black joy. So I thought that was interesting. And that's also one of my goals, like to show in my films in the future, to show more Black joy, less Black trauma.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please. I was so upset. Like, I was so upset with Queen and Slim because my thing was just like, we deserve fairy tales too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, spoiler alert for anybody who's seen the movie. They die. But, you know, how amazing would it have been for them to get on that plane and fly away, and then like the next scene, or there be a sequel, right? And it's like they're in Cuba or wherever, you know, living it up with a couple kids. Like, I was so disappointed and I was so hurt. And a lot of people were like, and I think even Lena was like, well, the reality of the situation. But we don't need reality. We get reality every day. Right. Our reality is on the news every day, and especially during that particular time. Mm-hmm. We don't want reality. We want fun. We want fantasy. We want fiction. That, you know, that's the thing I love about Issa Rae, like especially with Awkward Black Girl, and she did it more in the first season of Insecure, where she would have like the cuts to like what she really wanted to say or what she really wanted to do versus what really happened. And then I think it was her too that was like I think it maybe been for Insecure, where she was showing like in one scene they were eating, and she mentioned how like you never see in movies or in shows people eating, you know. And it's kind of like,
I'm gonna have to
I think it was Issa Rae. I might be wrong, but I think it was Issa Rae. But it's kind of like too, and this wasn't Issa Rae, but it's kind of like too, like with superhero movies, you'll have these women, these female superheroes, but they never have periods.
Yeah.
There's never like
some things they need to have some realism in it, but then also we need that fantasy to know that it's like that is achievable.
Right.
I don't know. We just need touches, like sprinkles of each.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, Endgame was over like a period of years, and mm-hmm. never once was Black Widow like, I got cramps. You know what I mean? Or mm-hmm. never once was Wanda like, oh, I'm so tired. You know what I mean? Like, they're just like, we're out here. And then it was somebody else that pointed out how like every time you have you know, women action heroes, like, you know, they never have like sometimes we get that light mustache, sometimes we get, you know, little leg hair, whatever. No, they're always perfect, no matter what's going on. Even in movies where like I'm watching from scratch right now, like where their love interest is sick and whatever, and they're pristine. The women are always pristine.
What motivates you to keep going every day?
Whew. What motivates me? You know, I'm gonna be honest because I'm at a period where I don't have a lot of motivation. You know, I just feel like, or I guess this could be that too, I just feel like we're here for a reason. We're on this earth for a reason. So I don't want to squander that. You know, there are so many people who are not, through no fault of their own, they're not healthy. They have these other obstacles in their way, and I feel like everything is certainly not perfect for me, but I feel like being blessed to open my eyes every morning, I need to make something of that. You know, yeah. I need to keep going. And I see people say all the time, like, oh, this is so terrible, and like younger people would be like, oh my god, like, you know, oh, 30 is old and all this other stuff, and it's like, just keep living, just keep living, because the opposite of that is death, and that's, you can't do nothing if you dead, right? I mean, you can haunt people, which I fully plan on doing, but yeah, I guess my motivation is just that I wake up every day. So let's make something of it. Let's do something with it.
That is a really, really real answer that is definitely like the stage I'm at right now, being in college, very real response. And motivation too, it's not enough. Like motivation external. So it's really like, it's a real answer.
Yeah.
That's a real answer. And I appreciate it.
Yeah, and every day you're not gonna get up every day and feel like, you know, I'm the greatest, I'm gonna take over, I'm gonna win everything, you know. But just every day you get up, you know, make a little progress to your goal. Be grateful that you did wake up, because there's somebody who didn't.
Right.
There's somebody who had a whole bunch of plans, was going to see their family or their friends, had all this great stuff planned, and they didn't make it, and you were fortunate enough to. So, you know, do something with it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking to me.
Of course, anytime.